A major federal shakeup forcing fast action. A local organization scrambling to rewrite its program after a policy change from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD. Now, the shift could impact how federal housing dollars get to providers, and that includes the LGBT Life Center. Germyah Batey joins us now to break down how this is triggering a race to meet new standards. Germyah.
Hey, Ashley, the government wants to cut financial waste and address homelessness. The housing director at the LGBT Life Center says this plan does the opposite of that, describing the weight of these changes and why it falls short. HUD's new funding notice arrived on November 13th. Julie Snell, housing director of the LGBT Life Center, says it came with little warning.
So it was a huge shift in funding priorities, who can be eligible for funding and what they can actually do with that money.
The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development set a deadline to receive grant proposals from housing providers seeking federal money by January 14th. That move is causing organizations like the LGBT Life Center to redesign their service model.
Everybody before the government shutdown was sort of waiting because HUD had said, hey, we're actually making this a competitive grant year, when that's not what Congress had approved last year.
In previous years, permanent housing programs received about 90% of HUD's funding, while transitional housing stayed below 2%. Under the new update, HUD is limiting permanent housing to 30%.
And we moved away from transitional housing, as a lot of agencies did, because it was found to be very unsuccessful.
She tells me people relying on transitional housing will only receive support for 2 years, cutting long-term housing options. According to Snell, more than 60 households at the Life Center depend on this program. She says the center has provided a permanent housing model for years, which supports people living with chronic diseases, disabilities, and low income.
It is structured in a way that makes it really hard for any nonprofit, just like ours, to figure out how are we going to continue to serve people.
Now, Snell says organizations like hers and many others are doing everything they can to keep people from falling behind, but she says if the Life Center loses funding, it will not be able to offer support at the same capacity. I'm Germyah Batey, 13 News Now.